guys, welcome back to the channel. Now we'll continue on with the 1102 Kriesler stereo. One of my subscribers, Stuart, thank you very much, Stuart, has given me supplied a power transformer for this old girl. And as you saw, the supply, the transformer was no good. It had so much damage from the mice and the rats that were in the back of it. It wasn't worth rewinding, not worth my time anyway. And I thought, well, we'll try and round up a transformer, something that'll fit, something that'll do. But thank you to Stuart, we've got the actual exact, or pretty well exact, transformer. I've cleaned up the little box that the power supply mounts in, and we'll put this together. I'll just record this fellow, this is only a short video, and test him, see if he all works, and we'll go from there. Now, as I said, the transformer is almost exact. Strange thing about it is we have our normal, here in Australia, 240 volt windings. That's all good. The high tension, everything here in the center. Now, the other two things is, this is our 6.3 winding, which is identical to the original transformer. And I have also done quite a few of these in the past. They all have 6.3. Here we have a lighter gauge 6.3. Now, this is the only other transformer I've seen from one of these Kriesler grams that have got two 6.3 volt windings, this one being a lighter one, maybe for the indicator light on the front, something like that, maybe for a valve short, a cathode short or something, but I don't know why there's two windings on this one. I can't find out any circuit diagrams that indicate this. So if you've got any comments on this as to what the second winding was actually for, I'm thinking of using this winding for the front indicator light on the gram itself. So it's an 11-102, this one, which just has a 6.3 volt indicator light. So we'll put this in, get him wired up. This winding is quite heavy, so obviously for the valve heaters, and we'll wire it up, test him out. But I'd be very keen to know why the second winding, why this one having the same number on it. It's an 8. Well, there's your number there, 18 4150. Now, yeah, there he is. So, yeah, have you got any ideas or anything as to why that fella is separate? Okay, I'll go ahead and we'll mount this in, wire our 240, our HT, put the valve in this, probably a new lamp. It looks a bit hair going, and make sure it all works before we get in the gram. And as I said, this will be just a little video by itself. Rightio. Now this is the way it came out, so I'll keep him the same orientation. Star washers, our nut on, and we'll do that with the four of them. Okay, we've got that fella mounted in. Now underneath we have a little 50 microfarad cap electro here, which is rated at not very high actually, 300 volt working and 350 volt peak. So I'm probably going to put we'll be replacing this with a 47 and probably a 450 volt cap. So we'll replace this fellow, measure the resistor, which is a bias resistor for the tubes, to 22 ohm, runs off the center tap of the transformer. So we'll investigate it. There's a little fuse here in line with the 6.3, which is, yeah, let's bring up the power supply there. So as you can see, there's one 6.3 volt winding there. Now the 6.3 volt, yes, it's fused by a little piece of wire, which is on ours, and it goes to the outlet socket. Now our indicator light on this is actually wired in parallel. It doesn't show the indicator light on here on this circuit. Now, most of this power supply is mounted on the chassis, so the only things we've got on this is our tube, the bias resistor, and the capacitor. The rest of the caps and resistors are mounted on the chassis itself, and then it all comes out a little socket there, as you can see. So no sign of a second winding there, which is, yeah, very odd. But I am going to use the second winding for the indicator light only, in case we had maybe a cathode heater short. Maybe that could be a little bit going on an indicator light if someone replaced it and there was HT on it. That may be the odd modification for the second winding. But anyway, there it is. Let's do some wiring. We have our capacitor mounted in there, and now just checking the bias resistor. Yeah, you guys can see that. 22 ohm, so let's see what he measures. 22.9, 22.8. That's close enough for the bush for me. 22.6. Yep, so I'll be leaving that fellow in. Most definitely. Okay, let's get on with some of the high tension wiring here. We've got the transformer mounted in, and all is wired up. So this will give you a little bit of a look inside. Lighting, we might need a little bit more light here on him. Okay, just bring the light over a little bit. Could be a little bit better. So there's inside. So our tranny is all wired up. We've put our power cable in. He, of course, the active side of the power cable comes out here, and I've looped him because this actually goes to the on-off switch on the gram, looped him back in. The separate one is power all the time, which goes to the turntable. So that's how that's arranged. Cleaned the best I can. I've cleaned up the valve socket. So we're pretty well ready to test all this. So we'll put a valve in him. We'll monitor our voltage. Now, a little bit tricky there. I will put, I'll put a little fly lead, I'll put a little alligator clip there so that we can monitor what's happening on the output. Okay, we'll connect him up to me meter. Okay, so I've also cleaned up the 6CA4, cleaned the pins with a small brass brush because these were a little bit corroded, but should be okay. Okay, so we'll plug him in. We've got our, just give you guys a little bit more of a look there. We've got our pilot light there, so we can see we've got 6.3. Now I've used the separate 6.3 for the heater of the 6CA4. Reason being, if you get a heater cathode short and it becomes at HT potential, that isn't going to run to the valve filaments on the main unit. So yeah, I forgot to tell you about that. So the secondary winding, which is down in here, actually goes straight to the CA4. The original wiring, the heavy one, goes out this socket to your main chassis. Okay, let's see, can we get any voltage out and how she's going to work. I'll just connect up a ground there for the meter, 2.7 volts, which is just the residual voltage sitting on the electro. Okay, switch him on. We're on dim bulb. He's dimmed out. And what's this fellow? We're looking for about 300, 350 in around, and she's conducting. And looks like we're away. We're sitting on 230 volts on the mains. 340. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? We're looking for 300 volts under load, and offload there we've got 341, 342. Magic. Okay, so our new transformer, thank you to Stuart once again. He's one of my subscribers, as I've said, and thanks a lot, Stuart. This has got us out of a bit of a pickle with this whole resurrection, rebuild, restore, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's a more or less a full restore of the unit. 342, going nicely. I think we can call this a wrap. So I will wrap this up now. We'll go on to the rest of the gram. I wanted to make the power supply separate because this may be a problem with something that you've got. It might help you out with diagrams and so forth. The diagram, once again, is up there, and you can see that the HT1 is 300 out. So if you want to take any screenshots or anything like that, well, yeah, there's our power supply diagram. Okay then, we're looking good. So the next video will be the rest of the stereo and what we're going to do. We also have to do the turntable, which should be reasonably straightforward. So until next time, please, if you like what I do, hit the like button. Please remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified when our next video comes up. Sorry about the gap in the thing. There's been a lot going on here. So guys, until next time, it's from me, it's bye for now.